Hello there, great to see you. Hope I find you well. Welcome up to Weir Yard, and it's the exciting time. Well, it certainly was for me, for the rebuild of Weir Yard. I've been talking about this for ages and ages, and one of the things, which I think I've said time and time again, is that the biggest barrier to me rebuilding Weir Yard is Weir Yard itself. What do I mean by this? Well, it's kind of in the way, and I think anybody takes a view that actually smashing up a perfectly functional model railway, which probably wasn't like desperately bad, really is a big step to take and not to be taken lightly. But starting is always the hardest part. Once you get started, actually that's when the fun kicks in. And I made that decision after that live stream where we talked about where the channel was going, how I felt about doing so many reviews and not enough creative projects. And I think in a way that it hit home that I just haven't been doing enough creativity. So I bit the bullet. And I decided to start the redevelopment of Weir Yard. I have threatened to do this for quite some time. Now, the first area is what was referred to as Jablite Mountain. Now, I will say at this point, there was a bit of a glitch, and all of the footage that I filmed was eaten by Zoe's computer. The tech bros decided that they would fix something that wasn't broken, and they've introduced a glitch that means it pretends that it transfers all the stuff off your phone, but just makes all the files blank.
Ta-da! It's gone.
So unfortunately, what you're seeing is the stuff that we've been able to salvage. So half of the first episode has taken a swanny. We can't get it back. And of course, because I started breaking apart the mountain, there's no way of refilming it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through my plans, and we're going to try and use some archive footage of the mountain before I went all Kool-Aid man and just smashed my way through the mountain.
Oh yeah!
For me, it always seemed a bit bland. And the Myneth Tatus Newith rebuild kind of hit home to me that the rock faces they just aren't there. There are none. I built it and it's kind of like a rolling hill, and it just seemed so boring and bland, and it also obscures the view of the tracks. I'm not 100% sure why I did it when I built it, but we've got this high fascia and then the big mountain behind with 4 tracks going through some quite deep tunnels, and well, it defeats the object of a model railway, watching the trains going by. It's just stupid. Why build a model railway and then hide the trains underground or behind a fascia? So I just decided to bite the bullet, and the plan is that the mountain's going. But it'll come back, and you'll see as this series progresses that what I'm going to do is build a much more dramatic mountain. I want it to go higher, far above where the old mountain went, and I want to incorporate a lot of those rock faces that did so well on Myneth Tatus Newith. They're going to get incorporated into this. I'm going to really go to town, and I want much smaller real estate in terms of tunnels. So the tunnel on the top level will get shorter, and this too as well will open up a lot of good photographic views. And the tunnel on the bottom, well, the first track that went through a single tunnel with the lead out of the end of Weir Yard, that's not going to be in a tunnel at all. I want to get rid of that. I want to be able to see the tracks and see the trains. And that means putting in a bridge for the upper track where once there was a tunnel. And it also opens up an opportunity to put an extra track through. I want 4 tracks on the bottom. It's something that I've often said, once you build a layout and operate it, you spot all the bits that you could have done better, and Weir Yard's no different. I want to put an extra track round, and with 4 tracks on the base, and plus that 5th torture test track, I think it's going to work a lot better for operational interest. So there's some points to go in, some track to be realigned. It really is quite involved. So with a bit of trepidation, the Kool-Aid man moved in, and a very, very large lump hammer went straight through the mountain. But I think we're up to where we've salvaged footage, so let's pick up with the time lapse and see how I'm getting on. Today's video comes in association with Tramfabriek, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabriek.co.uk. We're proud to be supported by TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for new and used. Pre-order all forthcoming models with confidence, or check out the extensive listings of second-hand. Each model is checked by experts in the field to make sure you're getting the very best. With new models uploaded daily, there's always something new to find. You can also specify from their value weathering and renumbering service right through to bespoke graffiti to get exactly the model that you want. Get something special today by browsing at themodelcentre.com. Just giving you a little bit of an update on the progress, and you'll have seen in the time lapse a lot of stuff coming out. I've also made use of, we've got an old Hoover, the belt and rollers broke, but it'll still suck up all the bits and pieces just fine. So I've had it up here, and it always pays, especially when you're using Jablite, because it just balls off to keep hoovering up all those bits of detritus, because otherwise they really do go everywhere. I started scraping down to bare baseboard across here, and you can see that originally when built, Weir Yard was largely just built straight onto the flat baseboards. Again, probably not something that I would do now, but we are kind of stuck with that, so I'm going to make it happen. Now, on the upper level, the tunnel's completely gone, and I've been having a little play around with where I want to put tunnel mouths. The tunnel's going to be a lot shorter, and that hopefully as well will just make watching the trains a lot better. There's no point in watching a train if it's in a tunnel all the time. Underneath the tunnel for the back two lines, that tunnel mouth there, I've decided just leave it where it is. It seems to be the perfect location. And again, when we move back over here, these tunnel mouths, certainly the one over here, I want that probably to remain where it is, as will this rock face up here. But in front of it here, I need to cut out a lot of this. This will no longer be a tunnel. Instead, my plan is for that to be a bridge. And I need to cut down this fascia. So I brought my jigsaw up, and from somewhere over here, I'm just going to cut it down until it's pretty much gone. I think that it was a big mistake to have quite a tall fascia at the front. This was done so I could have the big mountain and the tunnel, and actually all it does is obscure the trains. It makes filming really hard, and I just don't think that it's a good design for model railways. On the back scene, well, I was really pleased with Les's rendition of Langdale, and he did an amazing job with chalks straight onto the blue painted wood. Unfortunately, it's not the best medium to use these sort of things, so it always had this slightly grainy, rough look to it. And I've bought myself a photographic backscene. It's something that I've been so impressed seeing them on other people's layouts that I decided that that's exactly what I was going to do. So this is the photographic backscene that I've got. It's from ID Backscenes, and I've gone for Llanberis. And as you can see, that really is quite impressive. It's probably a lot longer than I need. So I've been having to think about it, and I think the left-hand side is the bit that I'm going to use, and the right-hand side, I'll probably just save that for another future project. They come at about 10 feet, which is like 3 meters, and my idea is instead of just trying to cut each end off and having the middle, why not just see how far 1.5 meters gets me across here, because the mountain's going to be built up. You can see where I've levered off as much as I could of those ready rocks that were glued on there, and so the mountain itself will rise up, and that final piece of backscene, you just won't see anything there, so there's no point in putting the photographic backscene all the way to the corner. And likewise, when we get on to Mill Hill over there, I want that to be a dramatic mountain in the background, going up and completely enveloping the top corner, just sort of up in this area where the mill currently is. The mill will move over here somewhere, but that's going to be quite dramatic too. I've cast a lot of rock faces for use. The best thing with those is just to actually cast a whole bunch of them, and then you can mix and match whatever you want. Additional support is provided by...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model 00 gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com and don't miss out on your latest logo.
I've been hard at work, and the Jablite Peak, that's the name I've come up with for this, I've started building some of the inner structure. So some of the wood that's actually been salvaged out of the inside of the original Jablite Mountain was just the right length. So I've been using some of this actually quite old speed bond. It's gone a bit off, and it's probably because it's about 6 years old. So I'm getting that used up. I've also glued in, that's the box that one of my new signal boxes from Backman Scenecraft have come in, and nothing goes to waste, so that happened to just be the perfect size to plug that hole. I'll be using some Tamiya paints to just darken all that down, so when you look inside the tunnel you don't just see a wall of white. What I want to do next is I've got the point here taken out. Points come out okay, it will be reusable. I've also got some other track, you've probably in the time lapses seen it floating about as I'm just trial fitting stuff. So I've got a couple of right hand Electrofrog points, they are going to get reused. I've got a Y point down underneath here needs to come out. The point motors have been dropped down, they are still connected to the wiring, but I've dropped them down. The holes, they're going to be filled in with probably just glue a piece of card across. Although the baseboard here seems to have sprung up, so I'm going to try and just sort that out. But I don't want to screw in a reinforcement piece until such time as I've worked out where the point motor will go for the new point for the lead off what was currently the lead down into this track from the yard. Instead of being a Y point and a right hand point, I want that to be just a right hand point, and that's going to require this tunnel portal to be rejigged, I think. And then further back down here we're going to be having a crossover somewhere back up here, and the fourth track will make its way round. So I'll have 4 continuous running tracks on the bottom plus the track on the top. I've also been going through some of the tunnel mouths. Now I will clean these up, but what I actually want to do is kind of just work out where I want these to go. That's going to be the location for one of them. Before boiling up some water just to deal with the ballast and move some of the track, I've taken a little bit of time out to glue some supports in. I've got the tunnel mouth up here, hot glue gunned in. I've also used one of the new Scaledale retaining walls that I bought. Just inside the tunnel it fitted so nicely, and the reason for this is because I want the view inside the tunnel to actually look like there's something there and not just this empty hole inside what will become Jablite's Peak. So a little bit of scenic work. These aren't that expensive. I got this from TMC, the model centre. We've got a link to them down below, and it's a really good price. They've been in stock for about 3 years, so you can imagine as prices march upwards, these are still at the same price they were 3 years ago. But I realise now what I'm actually putting off is doing the back scene. I'm going to get a damp cloth, and this seems sacrilege. I'm really sorry, Les. You did an amazing job, but I've got a photographic back scene, and that's going to go in here. But I don't want to just put spray mount straight onto what is actually chalk, so it'll be dusty, and it may not stick. So with a wet cloth, I'm going to take that back down, let it all dry, and then I can glue on the new back scene. What's interesting is there's a few little splatters crept in that look almost like it's been splashed, and I'm going to investigate and just make sure that that's not little patches of mouldiness coming through. So there's a little bit more work to do here. I cleaned up with some bathroom mould killing cleaner, cleaned off a lot of the loose chalk. There's always going to be a little bit of staining left. I'm really sorry, Les, it was a great art, but it's just in the wrong place, and I'm going to be seeing what I can do with the Tramfabriek ID scale back scenes. Once the new back scene goes in, I can then start building forward from that, and I think it's actually going to come together really quite quickly. I've got all the rocks already cast, and I think Jablite's Peak is definitely going to be quite a quick build. So I hope you really enjoyed this rather destructive start to the rebuild, but trust me, it's going to get better, and I'm really hoping you'll join me for the journey of this rebuild. It's going to be great, and certainly I hope you'll be able to take away from this some great hints, tips and confidence in being able to do some of these for yourself on your own layout. Do leave a comment down below. It's a great way of letting me know about your projects, or maybe suggesting things that I could be doing in the course of this rebuild. We will of course be moving round the layout, and there's plenty of other areas that will get the treatment, so watch this space and watch the series as it develops. But I'm going to concentrate on Jablite's Peak as I've come to know it now, and get this area built. I think it's important to take on smaller chunks, especially when rebuilding a layout, so you still have the means to run trains. Once the mountain is done, we'll move round to the bit in between it and the next hill, and then it's Mill Hill that will get a similar dramatic treatment. And, well, you'll have to tune in for the next episode. We've got an affiliate link down below to help you out with some of the materials being used. It takes you to TMC, the Model Centre, and as always, do please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. Bye for now. Today's video comes in association with Tramfabriek, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabriek.co.uk. Additional support is provided by...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model double O gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com, and don't miss out on your latest logo.
We're proud to be supported by TMC, the Model Centre, your first choice for new and used. Pre-order all forthcoming models with confidence, or check out the extensive listings of second-hand. Each model is checked by experts in the field to make sure you're getting the very best. With new models uploaded daily, there's always something new to find. You can also specify from their value weathering and renumbering service right through to bespoke graffiti to get exactly the model that you want. Get something special today by browsing at themodelcentre.com. I'd like to thank everybody over on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to our Patreon heroes. Without you guys over on Patreon, we really wouldn't be able to keep making the video content that you see on this channel. And don't forget that you can also head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk and check out the different tiers of rewards. Thank you so much. You are absolute legends.